The Menu is directed by Mark Mylod and stars Anya Taylor-Joy, Ralph Fiennes, and Nicholas Hoult, and I'm very excited to give you guys my review for this movie. If you've seen it, be sure to let me know what you thought about it. As well, be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Now let's get into this review. In this movie, a young couple travels to a remote island to eat at an exclusive restaurant where the chef has prepared a lavish menu with some shocking surprises. So I found that there were some shocking surprises in this movie. I knew it was sort of like a horror comedy. A lot of people said it was sort of like that. So I was expecting that, but I still wasn't expecting the direction this movie went in. And I thought it was really good. I really enjoyed this movie. It was shocking. It had definitely a sinister atmosphere to it. The performances were fantastic. Anya Taylor-Joy is the lead of this movie. She was fantastic. Ralph Fiennes, probably the standout for me for performances. He was great in this movie as the chef. Nicholas Hoult as well was really good. He was really funny at times. Those three actors did a great job, and I enjoyed their characters. And Ralph Fiennes as the chef, as I mentioned, he was great, and I was really interested by his character. He was like this chef who at one time really enjoyed being a chef, but he sort of lost the enjoyment and pleasure of being a chef, and he sort of come up with this menu that is a lot more sinister than people were expecting it to be, and he's invited certain people to the island to be part of this experience because of the type of people they are. They're elitist, and it's those people sort of affected the way he's feeling now, and it's that sort of sets up what's going on in this movie and why this stuff is going on, why that is happening. And I thought it worked very well for the most part for me. I understood why these people were affecting him, and you sort of understand that Ralph Fiennes' character, he's sort of kind of unhinged at this point. I don't think he's all mentally there, kind of insane, but also you can also see sort of a broken person, somebody that needs help, hasn't been getting it. Maybe part of that's due to being on a isolated island. But you sort of understand that, and there's a nice moment at the end of this movie where you feel like he has one last moment of actually feeling joy about cooking. That was a really nice moment. It didn't really change the outcome of the movie, but it was still a nice moment. And as I said, I enjoyed the other two characters, Anya Taylor-Joy and Nicholas Hoult. Nicholas Hoult's this guy who's like very obsessed about food, knows everything about it. He's like a fanboy over the chef. But he's not really a person who can cook himself. He's just really obsessed about everything with food. Kind of a nerd about it, for lack of better words. And he sort of idolizes the chef. So that's sort of his character. Anya Taylor-Joy is sort of the character that the audience can relate with, because she's sort of like the everyday person. She's not an elitist like everybody else. You know, likes food, but it's not, you know, fanboying over it like Nicholas Hoult's character. So she's the character the audience can relate with. All the other characters are, you know, high-end people. You got an actor, you got people working in a business, you got food critics. So you got those characters. I enjoyed them for the most part. To me, the side characters, while they worked for this movie, they did feel like characters you often got in these movies where you get a big ensemble of different characters. They kind of felt like typical characters in that way, but they worked for the movie. This movie also for me had a very surprising ending. Part of it was happy, part of it was kind of disturbing, and it worked for the most part. A part of me felt not totally satisfied with the ending, and it's not to say it was bad. I was just like, okay, it worked, but I just wasn't totally satisfied. I think a lot of people really liked the ending, and it was fine. It just didn't work quite as well for me. Don't really know, just so like, okay, kind of disturbing, but it was fine. That's what the movie was building up to, and it went through with that, so that was great. But there are definitely a lot of moments in this movie that I found shocking and disturbing, and they're very effective. Right from the get-go, sort of when they get into this restaurant, or even moments before that, there's parts of this that you're like, okay, something's off at this island. And then once you really see the chef, you start realizing, okay, yeah, there's definitely something more off about this. And then not quite midway through, but there's a moment where the chef brings one of his cooks up to the guests with him. Yeah, that moment was very shocking, and it really just escalated things, really set things more in motion. That was a bit surprising scene and very effective. There's other really effective scenes too, where they go outside, and yeah, there's a moment with the chef and another cook that was, again, kind of disturbing. And they do some crazy stuff in this, so I really enjoyed this. I thought it definitely worked as a horror movie with some of its more suspenseful, sinister aspects to it. The performances were great. The three leads, their performances great, and I enjoyed their characters. And I enjoyed the overall story, sort of this message of obsession, stuff like that. I thought that worked very well. Some of the side characters felt kind of familiar, like the typical characters you get when you get a movie with a bunch of ensemble characters that are sort of isolated in an area. They kind of felt a little familiar to me. And the ending, I thought, worked for the most part. Just for whatever reason, I'm not totally satisfied with it, but it's fine. It worked. It did leave me wanting a cheeseburger, and I still have a craving for one, so I'll probably get one at some point. But overall, I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was great. It had some funny moments as well, especially with Nicholas Holt's character. I thought it was really good. For me, I'm going to give The Menu an 82%. So guys, those are my thoughts on this movie. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you've seen The Menu, let me know what you thought about it. As well, be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel, and be sure to stay tuned for some more reviews coming soon. My next video is going to be a review for RRR, so stay tuned for that. And until my next video, take care everybody.